I stood there watching as the passengers started coming out of the terminal. My welcome home sign held proudly in the air. I was so excited to see my mom. She had been working abroad for the last year, and I had missed her so much.
There she is, Brittany.
Where, Dad? I can't see her.
There.
I looked to see who Dad was pointing at. When I saw my mom, my mouth dropped in shock. Mom, what's happened to you? You're so fat. But before I go on, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because you don't want to end up with a fat mom like mine. My mom looked a bit sad when she heard what I had said, but I didn't care. I couldn't believe she had let herself get so fat. It's going to be so embarrassing when my friends see what she looks like. Mom, I just can't believe you're so fat now.
Now, Brittany, that's enough. Your mom is still beautiful. Don't be so rude to her.
I'm not being rude. It's the truth. Just look at her. She looks disgusting.
Brittany, I will not have you talking to your mom like that.
I didn't care what my dad said. He was probably only defending her because he thought he ought to. I didn't believe for 1 minute that he really thought she was still beautiful. As we drove home from the airport, I couldn't stop thinking about what everyone at school would think when they saw my mom. Mom, I don't want you to pick me up at school anymore, okay?
Why not, Brittany?
I just shrugged my shoulders at her and turned to look out of the car window. We drove the rest of the way home in silence. The next day, when I arrived at school, my best friend Sally was waiting at the school gates for me.
Brittany, hey, how's your mom? I bet it's so nice to have her home.
Yes, I guess. Anyway, come on. We should be getting to class. We don't want to be late. The last thing I wanted to do was get into a conversation about my mom. For the rest of the day, if anyone mentioned her name, I quickly changed the subject. I thought that if I didn't talk about her, then I wouldn't have to tell anyone how fat she was. The bell rang to signal the end of the school day. I picked up my school bag and walked out of the school gates. But as soon as I got outside, my heart sank. I couldn't believe it. My mom was standing there waiting for me. I was mortified. I felt sure that everyone was looking at her and talking about how much weight she had gained. Mom, what are you doing here? I thought I told you not to pick me up.
Don't be silly, Brittany. Of course I'm going to pick you up.
Oh my God, you are so embarrassing. You're ruining my life. I could sense the other parents and students staring at my mom and me, so I just got into the car and sat there fuming. We argued all the way home. My mom kept on telling me that people wouldn't care about her weight. And anyway, even if they did, I shouldn't care what other people thought. Oh, you just don't understand. It's not just what other people think. I think you're too fat too.
What an awful thing to say, Brittany. Apologize to me right now.
I'm not apologizing for telling the truth. You are too fat. Promise me you won't pick me up from school anymore. Luckily, after that first day, my mom didn't pick me up from school anymore. I was relieved that my friends didn't have to see her every day. I thought that if she wasn't around, they would hopefully forget how fat she was. It worked quite well until the day the school announced they were going to be having a sports day, and there was going to be a mom's race. I was horrified. There was no way I was going to let everyone see my mom running. I decided that I wouldn't tell her about it. But unfortunately, the school had already sent out an email inviting all of the moms to take part. When I got home from school, my parents were talking about it.
You should definitely take part in the race. It will be nice for you to spend some time with Brittany. I'm sure she'll be proud of you.
I couldn't believe what my dad was saying. Mom, you're not going to run in the race, are you?
Yes, of course I am. Why wouldn't I?
Because you're fat.
Now then, Brittany, don't start all of that again. Of course your mom can run in the race.
When the sports day arrived, I woke up with a sick feeling in my stomach. I was dreading what everyone would say when they saw my mom. I tried to get out of going, but my mom was having none of it. I'm not feeling great, Mom. I don't think I can go to the sports day.
You're fine, Brittany. It's probably just nerves. Once you get to school, I'm sure you'll be fine.
I let out a huge sigh. I knew that Mom wasn't going to give in. There was nothing for it. I was going to have to just face the embarrassment. When the teacher called out for the competitors to the mom's race to line up at the start, I watched as my mom took her place in the lineup. I couldn't believe she was actually wearing sports shorts. All the other moms looked so fit. My mom looked like a beached whale. As the starter's pistol fired, all the moms started running. I watched in shame as they left my mom behind. The other mom sprinted over the finish line just as my mom turned the last corner. As she came puffing and panting up to the finish line, everyone started clapping for her. I knew it was just because they felt sorry for her. I was so annoyed with her for embarrassing me that instead of congratulating her, I just ran over and shouted in her face. Why did you have to come here? I told you that you couldn't run. I hate you. I hate you. I didn't speak to my mom for the rest of the day, but as soon as we got in the car to go home, we started arguing again. We didn't stop even when we got home. For the next few days, all we seemed to do was fight. There never seemed to be a moment's peace in our house. Eventually, it all became too much for my dad.
That's it. I can't handle you two anymore. Your constant fighting is driving me crazy. I'm moving out.
True to his word, that very day, Dad packed his bags and left home. My mom was distraught, but I didn't care. I never really liked my dad that much anyway. As I watched my mom sitting at the kitchen table sobbing, I couldn't help myself. He's probably left you because of your body. My mom looked at me in shock, but instead of looking sad, she suddenly became really angry.
Brittany, you are a mean girl. I don't know what has got into you. I thought I taught you to always be kind to people.
I felt a bit nervous when Mom started shouting at me. It wasn't like her to be so spunky. Sometimes it's better to tell people the truth. You might not like it, but I know Dad is embarrassed about you, just like me. After our argument, Mom and I didn't really speak to each other that much. I was at school all day, and once I got home, I locked myself in my bedroom. But one thing did change. My mom started going to the gym. I also noticed she had started to eat healthy too. But something bad started happening to me. I began to gain weight. I couldn't understand it. I was doing nothing different, but the weight started piling on. I began to get really worried. Am I going to end up swapping bodies with my mom? I decided I had to try and do something about it, so I started dieting. I skipped meals as much as I could. Some days I didn't eat anything at all, but I couldn't handle the hunger pains. Eventually, I had to ask my mom for help. I don't know what to do, Mom. I'm putting on weight, but I can't diet. What should I do?
Why don't you try eating these fit bars? They have 0 calories in them, and they will stop your hunger pains. In fact, the more of these that you eat, the more you will lose weight.
I took one of the bars and tasted it. Oh my God. This is so yummy. I can't believe they have 0 calories in them. They taste delicious. So after that, my dieting got easier. I just skipped meals, and when I got hungry, I munched on a couple of fit bars. A few weeks went by and I was really expecting to have lost weight, but I hadn't. When I tried to put my jeans on, they wouldn't go over my hips. In fact, none of my clothes fit me anymore. My mom, however, had never looked better. After her weeks working out at the gym and eating healthy, she now had the perfect body. All her rolls of fat had disappeared, and she looked like a model. I was horrified. How had this happened? How had my mom ended up with my body and me with hers? I tried to put it out of my mind, but the next day at school, I realized just how much weight I had put on. My best friend Sally had been away in Mexico for a month studying. It was her first day back, and the look of shock on her face when she saw me told me just how much I had changed.
What's happened to you, Brittany? You look so different.
No, I don't. What are you talking about?
You do, Brittany. I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just asking what you have been doing to change so much in a month.
Nothing. Well, except I've been eating these fit bars.
Why have you been eating those?
To help me lose weight.
But those bars are to help you gain weight. Bodybuilders eat them when they want to gain a lot of weight quickly.
I couldn't believe what Sally had just told me. I was so shocked. Then it dawned on me. Oh my God, my mom has done this to me. I stood up and immediately walked out of school. When I got home, I found my mom sitting in the kitchen. She looked surprised to see me.
Brittany, why aren't you at school?
I know what you have been doing to me.
What are you talking about?
Don't try to deny it. You gave me those fit bars on purpose, didn't you? You stole my perfect body just because you're jealous.
Why would I be jealous of you?
Because you were so fat, and I was perfect. You wanted what I had. Before Mom had a chance to say anything more, I heard a sound behind me. I turned around and saw my dad standing there.
What's going on here? Are you two still fighting?
It's her fault. She made me fat just like she was. Now look at her. She has stolen my perfect body.
Don't you think you two should stop being so jealous and toxic? Surely you love each other. Wouldn't it be better for the both of you if you could just work together instead of against each other?
I hesitated at first. I was still so angry with my mom for what she had done to me. But my dad was right. It wasn't doing either of us any good constantly fighting with each other. I guess it would be better if we worked to help each other instead of always fighting.
I agree, Brittany. We can both help each other to get into a healthy routine and be in the best shape we can be.
So from that day on, we agreed to help each other. I stopped eating the Fit Bars and stopped skipping meals. Mom prepared healthy salads for both of us to eat, and I started going to the gym with my mom. It was actually really good going with my mom because we are both really competitive and both wanted to have the best body. If my mom did 10 miles on the treadmill, then I made sure I did 15. If I swam 20 lengths of the pool, then my mom swam 30. It was a constant competition between us. Slowly but surely, the weight began to fall off me. It wasn't long before my mom and I both had perfect bodies. And because of our commitment, we actually got noticed by a rep from a local magazine. He saw us working out at the gym together one day and came over to speak to us.
I've been watching you two for the last few weeks. Your journey together has been amazing. I work for a local magazine, and we would like to do a photo shoot and write about your journey.
Mom and I looked at each other and smiled.
We would love to do that.
So now we're being used by the magazine as inspirations for other aspiring weight losers and exercises. Who would have thought?